and this is all set up. Okay, I wanted to say that I just finished the podcast interview, uh, Carnivore Evolution, and I absolutely enjoyed meeting Mark and speaking with him and talking about the carnivore diet and how it has healed me from, oh gosh, all sorts of things, not only the herpes outbreaks that I suffered from for many years. And there are those out there, you all know what I'm talking about. You all know what it means. So that'll be out next week. Looking forward to it. I will put up a link in the community here on YouTube and in the Facebook group, Got Herpes Eat Meat, if you're all interested in coming and checking out that group. It is a private group and growing, and I'm excited to get that rolling in a more open kind of way. People are hesitant. That's the word. People are hesitant about speaking openly about herpes outbreaks. I mean, who wants to come out on a social platform and say, I've got genital herpes? Because then maybe people are going to find out. Maybe, I don't know, they will be rejected and shamed again. It's a lot easier for people that come out and say, hey, I've got oral herpes, I get cold sores, right? Or, hey, I've been carnivore for the past 3 years and gosh, I don't get shingles anymore, which is herpes zoster. It's easier because there's no real shame wrapped up in having cold sores, which are herpes, or having shingles, which are herpes, or having any other kind of herpes. There are other types of herpes where you're not getting skin lesions, right? You're not getting that whole thing, but you're feeling like you've got the flu, you're feeling, just out of whack, the swollen lymph nodes, like that time that maybe you had mononucleosis when you were younger and it's coming back again. So there's 8 different types of herpes, everybody. And it has been with us, the herpes viridae family, herpes viridae. Let me just double check that I'm not, herpes viridae family has been with us for the past 200 million years at least. So it's a pretty common virus or, infection or whatever. So I think we need to just blow this whole shame thing out of the water. And that's what this podcast was talking about. Not only my experience with going carnivore and how that eradicated the herpes virus from exposing itself on my skin, but the shame that comes along with it. And I'm here to be your voice, anybody's voice. If you're in that state of shame, if you're feeling uncomfortable, if you don't want people to know, like it's a bad thing and you are going to be, rejected or pushed aside or not accepted into your community, you have a community here. You have somebody, that's me, that's supporting you and understands fully how you're feeling. And that's what this podcast was, the focus that I wanted to talk about with Mark. It was a great podcast. It was just very, very, very interesting, and the perspectives that he has in his journey on the carnivore diet and the people that he has helped on the carnivore diet, people who from mental health from problems, depression, being on medications for years, and then going carnivore and not needing the medications anymore. And it's not just this one person. It's not. There are hundreds, if not thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people who, just by going carnivore, ketogenic as well. The ketogenic diet, which the carnivore diet is in the ketogenic diet spectrum. It is a ketogenic diet, just without the vegetables. When you burn fats, you have a steady level of energy throughout the day. You no longer have spikes. This podcast was really important for me. It was, first of all, a way to speak out for all of the people who suffer. And if you're not suffering from herpes, you know somebody who suffers, even if it's just occasionally, from some kind of outbreak, whatever it is. And we don't talk about it. We don't put it out in the open, put it out into the light and really take a look at this thing, right? To pull away from the blame game and to take a look at, since you have this virus, these herpes virus, whichever form that you have, what can you do to promote vitality in your own life, in your own body? And it has been my experience, and I have been struggling with this for many, many years. And I have gone from the raw vegan diet through the entire spectrum. I should say, started with the standard American diet, moved to the Mediterranean diet when I came to live in Greece. Healthy, 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 supposedly, right? And then raw vegan all the way through the spectrum to carnivore. Carnivore was the only lifestyle change that I did that completely eradicated my herpes outbreaks. In fact, for those of you who don't know, I also had Hashimoto's, right? I had, autoimmune issues. And I no longer have that. I no longer have any markers for a thyroid problem. And I know that. I did go and get blood tests, but I also know that within, because my body is running as if I am a 30-year-old young person in my vibrant health. And when I was 30, I was not vibrantly healthy. So you know that you're healthy again, because all of your symptoms stop when you go on a carnivore diet. You feel fantastic after you go through the first stages. You're going to do that keto flu thing. It could be difficult. It could be nothing. It could be easy. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. If you hold on and get yourself through it, you will begin to see the benefits. And I am so grateful to be asked to do these podcasts, talking with others about this herpes virus, getting it out in the open that this is nothing to be ashamed of. Nothing. When you consider, 6 out of 10 people have herpes simplex virus, 2 HSV, 2 genital herpes, out of your family of 10, 6 of you have already got it. And the point is, some of you probably don't even know that you have it because you're not getting outbreaks. Or maybe it's just an ingrown hair and you really don't know if you've got herpes. So I want to get rid of the shame. And that does not mean that when you know that you carry HSV2, you need to communicate that out and talk to your partners. They need to know. And I'm telling you, if you are not comfortable talking to a partner or you're worried about losing somebody because you know that you have genital herpes, you don't want that partner. You don't want him or her. Gone, scratch. You don't want anybody in your life that is going to reject you because of something that nearly everybody else has. No. That's like you're getting rejected because you caught a cold. Yeah, it's not the same prevalence. I mean, the cold, you get a cold or flu, everybody gets them. If you go carnivore, you're not going to get them anymore. For, what is it? For your information, FYI, you're not going to get sick anymore. You're not going to have problems like that. But, if you're dealing with people who are rejecting you, you're in the wrong place. They are not your people. And that's part of the reason of why I'm here shouting out into the world about herpes, that this is nothing to be ashamed of. Absolutely nothing to feel guilty about. Absolutely nothing to feel isolated about, that you're not part of the community, that you've been pushed to the side. I spent many years in that place and I am no longer there. I will not be there, and I don't want you to be there. And the carnivore diet was the key that turned on my metabolic health, that brought me back to my personal, vibrant, healthy expression of me, myself on this planet. You guys, it is incredible. It's incredible. And so when this podcast episode comes out, I want you to all listen to it. It's an audio podcast. Just listen. And if you're not agreeing with, or you think we're all nuts over here on this carnivore side or the ketogenic side, at least open yourself up to the possibility of getting a deeper understanding. Here's my analogy. I hope I'm using the right word. If I tell my artists, I'm a painter, you guys can see that, right? I tell artists that you have to learn to see. And this is what I mean. You can look at a photo reference of a tree and say, okay, this is a tree, I'll copy it and I'll paint it, right? But you don't really understand the tree in its entirety, right? So I tell my artists that they need to go outside and they need to look at an actual real tree. And you can look at the tree from one perspective, right? You're standing on one side of the tree, you're seeing that tree from that perspective. If you don't actually walk around to the other side of the tree and look at it from the other side, you'll never fully understand that tree. And as an artist, that's a fact, right? It's a fact. You need to be able to see the different areas, front and back, the side, the way the light's hitting that tree, the shadow, the light, play, all of that is important. I think that with this herpes thing and with this carnivore diet thing, that we need to also look at it from our perspective, what we've always learned, what we've been indoctrinated by, and come around to the other side and maybe look at some of the alternative methods. And having said that about the alternative methods, the carnivore diet or the ketogenic diet is not new. In fact, the ketogenic diet, if you want to call it that, has been studied from well over, from the early 1900s, right? 100 years ago, let's say. And they have been using the ketogenic diet. They started studying it because it was helping people who had epilepsy, kids with epilepsy, and it pretty much healed them. So they began to study it, and they called it a ketogenic diet because you're burning fats rather than carbohydrates. Okay, but this ketogenic diet thing has been in our existence forever, since the beginning, right? I hardly want to call that a diet. It certainly isn't a fad, is it? It is how we nourished ourselves, how we lived, how we grew, and how we came to where we are today. There's nothing strange about it. Just because we have learned to look at the tree from this direction doesn't mean that we're looking at it in the best way to make the best painting. Maybe we should go look around on the other side and see how the tree looks over there. Do you get what I mean? So the podcasts. I did a great podcast on No Carb Life with Dave Mack. It was my very first podcast. It is doing very well. And the support that I have gotten from those that watched that podcast episode has been phenomenal. People have come to this channel, signed up, have gone to my Facebook private group, Got Herpes, Eat Meat. If you want, come on over and let's get this group started. Let's get people talking. People are still afraid, or they're quiet. They're just not ready to step out. And I understand that. I would be in the same kind of place. And so just putting it all together, you guys, and really excited because I will be in another podcast very soon. I will give you that information when I have it all, when it will be, and putting that out also into the world. So please share this channel with others. Please help me out in any way that you can. Getting the word out, sharing is a huge thing. I'm actually setting up a Buy Me a Coffee thing at Vida Goes Carnivore. I've just set it up, so I haven't got all the information in there. But if you want to buy me a coffee, that would be deeply appreciated to help me stay on track here, to keep putting out the information. I'll be putting together my own podcast, talking with others who have healed from all sorts of things, and herpes as well, and putting that out into the world. We need to get the word out. All right, you guys, I'm really excited. Just had a great conversation. Carnivore Evolution is the name of the podcast, and I will give you the information when I have it all, okay? Hey, you guys, leave comments. They're very helpful. It keeps the channel growing. As you can see, I'm at 180 some people. Thank you all for coming after the No Carb Life podcast, all of you people who came to support this channel and help me get the word out and help me get people to understand that there's no shame involved in having a herpes diagnosis. It's nothing to feel isolated about, really, truly. Let's get a grip on it. And you know what? You don't need to have outbreaks. You do not need to suffer. Try the carnivore diet. Get in touch with me. Talk with me. I will help you along. I am your number one cheerleader, not a doctor. I can't give you any medical advice, but boy, I can support you through this. So you can get in touch with me there. And yeah, guys and gals and all the other genders out there, I am here for you. Take care.